actually enjoying winter for the first time since I was a child. I wanted to try filming outside this week. I've been dreaming about doing it for about a month now, and I thought today was a perfect day. It's warm, it's super snowy. We just had a bit of a snowstorm last night, and all of the snow is still covering the trees. This is one of my happy places, and today I'm going on my artist date. As I sit here and reflect upon my winter, I've realized a lot in taking time for myself and taking time to experience joy is something that I let go of when I feel I'm on a righteous path, as in I feel so dedicated to my work that it's the only thing that I want to do, that I have to do in order to accomplish something. And yet that's exactly how I lead to burnout. Narrowing of things that we enjoy is by definition depression. Today, for example, it really felt like I didn't have the although I planned this and I wanted to go and I'm happy I have gone, there was a part of me that said, you're already on a flow with your painting. You worked so hard on it yesterday. If you stayed home today, you could finish it. Or if you went for a smaller walk and didn't record this, you could finish that painting in the time that you prescribed. But I also realized that it's not necessarily productive for me to give myself really harsh timelines because paintings can take a really long time. And as someone who originally started my painting journey in digital realm in Procreate, I expected much quicker turnaround time. And the reality is there's a lot of patience involved in oil painting. When I was working with digital mediums, it took a day, several hours, a couple of days if it was a really complicated commission that I was doing. And now, oh, oh boy, it's a good thing I brought extra mittens. And now paintings are taking me 2 months. My first painting I did when I started this 3 months ago or so took me 3 days, maybe 4 to complete. And that felt like a really long time. And now I've been working on the painting that I'm currently finishing for 2 months. And that seems like forever. And there's been a lot of breaks in between. So I can't say I've been working diligently every single day for 2 months on this painting, but I can expect it taking a long time. And then there's the waiting period of how long it'll take to varnish and these things. So it's a process that I didn't fully understand before signing up, but now can really appreciate that art is a ongoing journey with myself and my work, and that it's not about instant gratification of showing myself a particular skill that I'm able to accomplish right away. It's about a long journey of expressing my emotions. I have to allow myself time to work through that, however long it may take. There are so many geeks. So I wanted to talk about what really worked for me this week in my artist way journey. I described in another clip how I was really happy about the flow that I got into. And as a result of that flow, I felt that there was a lot more synchronicities happening within financial security for me in very small ways, in several people reaching out to me directly after getting into that flow state. And one thing that was spoken about in the book was how the universe, in that she calls it the greater creator, wants to be created at it. And I felt I was really in sync with this message, in that the more I surrendered to my work and showed up on the page, the more I was in a receiving energy from putting in that work, being brave, from my voice out there, trying new things, and testing out my camera, which with the microphone so far seems to be working quite well. In the woods, I'm able to really take my headphones off, take away that noise, and focus on what's around me. I love the greenery that's here in these evergreen pine trees, in the snow that falls onto the branches, and just experiencing real winter. I think something that's really been meaningful throughout this season of my life is sometimes the things that I'm most resistant to are the things that will bring me the most joy. So I was really resistant to starting boiled painting and starting recording myself. And once I got through it, it's probably the most confidence I've had in a long time, the most inner security in myself. Same goes for not wanting to be here in winter. I was so desperate to get out of a area that had winter, a country that had winter. As soon as I finished my undergraduate degree that was building here, and now I'm enjoying it for the first time since I was a child. Oh man, what what perfect timing. The Canadian geese. So, I feel like I'm in Narnia right now. I feel like I'm in a winter wonderland that I stepped into. It takes about half an hour for me to get to this woodland. I trudged in very deep into the snow, if you can see, and I can see some ducks that I haven't seen in other areas. It's a lot more secluded than where I usually take my walk, and I'm just so happy to be out here. One thing that I realized this week is that I am not responsible for judging my work. I cannot continue to make up all of these judgments in my head that I expect other people to have of my work when I have absolutely no idea what the response is going to be. I think in other aspects of my life and interpersonal relationships, I've come to realize that mind reading is just not productive, but I have yet to incorporate that into my workflow with creating art. And so, in thinking about that, as I journaled today, I realized that it was really important that I differentiate my flow from when I'm judging the work as I'm creating it. These have to be separate processes, and although I've heard this so many times, it's really difficult to integrate, and I expect it to be something that I will be working on for a very long time. Likewise, in that I have expectations about how people will interpret and feel about my art that are not based in reality at all. I also have judgments on myself against what I expect of myself. And I've seen people talk about this idea that there's a huge gap in between the idea that we have in our head and our current ability. And in continuing to create, we lessen that gap. But in the beginning, it can be discouraging to feel like a beginner, to feel like we cannot accurately communicate our message because of our limited skill set so far. But I think I've still really impressed myself with the work I've done so far. And to compare myself to Renaissance masters is not realistic. I want to have lighting like Caravaggio, and yet this is my first ever time painting a body. Can't expect myself to immediately be a master at it, and yet I am really proud of the progress I've made so far. So I think I'm inspired to create a snow scene soon. I've been researching on Pinterest for my reference photo process in the future. I really enjoy compositing an image in Procreate as you would in Photoshop. Several different references that I take from real life photos and that I take from Google Images and from masters and put those together into a reference image that I find to be satisfying to then go on and paint. I think it's an exciting way to make a reference photo. I haven't seen anyone talk about it online, and I'm sure other people out there do it, but that's my way right now that I really love, and I love that part of the process. I think it would be interesting to take this full creative well that I have right now and an inspiration and feeling like I'm in Narnia to bring that joy and childlike excitement that I have into a painting. I've been painting a lot about grief and harder feelings right now, and so I think it's time to take a break from that in my next work and think about how I can create something joyful before I come back to these other emotions. It's just sometimes difficult to continue to paint about grief without reprise. The duck is laughing at me. I think it's really important, and it's my message on this channel, to express and let out our emotions so that we have more capacity to enact positive change in life. But at the moment, I'm feeling like I need to take care of myself in my artwork, and that doesn't always mean expressing my grief. So I'm excited to see where that takes me, and I'll follow up with where that goes. But this is a really inspiring time of my life right now, to just bask in winter, to bask in this beauty, in the resilience of life around me that continues to live despite the cold and the magic of it all. I mean, it's rare for me to feel the magic of winter without it being Christmas. So I think this is a really special period, and I'm so blessed to be here and warm and comfortable in this winter wonderland. I really wanted to get this shot in front of the lake, so I have to kneel down for this. I hope it makes sense. This artist journey is really incredible and something that I won't take for granted, and I think this is a memory that will definitely last for a long time to come. So I think that's all I want to say today. I will be back next week to reflect and hopefully have something to show in terms of finished work. But as I just said, I'm doing it again, where I expect something to be done right away. I don't know how long it'll take, but I'm here to record the process, not the final result. See you next week.